Hi everyone, my name is Aneta, and I am a photographer, graphic designer, visual artist, and obviously a YouTuber. My friends now can say that they have a friend who's a YouTuber. The video is about how to find friends, so I'll let you know how I found those friends. I wanted to share this story because I feel like I find a lot of inspiration and motivation through other people's experiences, and that's really important to me. And I felt like I wanted to share my own and things that I learned on how to find friends. So I grew up in a relatively small town back in Lithuania, and I wasn't a cool kid, but I did have a lot of friendships that were really meaningful to me and close to me, and I could be myself with those friends. I never had difficulty opening up, and I think I was the opposite when I was just oversharing everything, and especially the fact that I was never into drama and I was oversharing my own experiences. So I never really was afraid of gossiping, and I always lived with an idea that if someone cares about my experience, I might make a friend. If someone doesn't, they will forget about me, which is totally fine because, you either win or you lose. Quite obvious, I know. After leaving high school, I carried on with the same mindset, so I never really struggled to find friends. And I think that was part of Lithuanian culture because people were either nice to you or not. So if someone is nice to me, I'm obviously gonna be nice to them, and that way I can expand my friend circle and make friends. On the other hand, if someone is not nice to me, it's very obvious. I feel like we just feel the energy, I don't know, but you just know that, okay, that person that can be bothered talking to me, so I'm just not gonna talk to them. And I was the same, if I wouldn't want to talk to someone, I would be just clearly showing, I would never try to pretend that I'm interested. I'm just dead face, I don't care. So that was easy. You just see people green, red. Sometimes, happens that it doesn't work out like that, but anyways, most of the time. After spending 3 years after high school in Lithuania and tasting that adult life, especially working in an entertainment industry that is kind of wishy-washy in Lithuania, you can't really, achieve anything there or make a career out of it. I decided to move down to Australia, and after 6 months, I was already in Melbourne and swiping on Tinder, and I was like, I'm just gonna live my best life. And the following weekend I was going to my first gig, which was so extremely exciting. I was so stoked to be here. Needless to say, it took me possibly a couple of months to realize that people here are not necessarily nice to you because they like you, which was heartbreaking to me because I genuinely was naive and thought that everyone who was nice to me, they wanted to be friends with me. And I was the same. I was like, oh my god, people are so cool here. So I was meeting people, I was working on music video sets, and I was shooting gigs and all, but really soon I started to feel a little bit lonely. I couldn't find friends that would just click with me. I wanted that just you start talking to someone and you know that you're mutually interested in each other, and maybe everyone was caught up into building their own life and they were not really interested in some 21-year-old girl from a very obscure country that wants a lot of attention for adventuring, deep conversations, and doing silly things. That's me. I wanted that, and no one had time for that. So I was really, really sad. And at that time, I met my boyfriend, who was the only person that I could spend my time with and talk to, and he was my best friend, and he was also working in the creative industry, and we could have really cool conversations about our arts and crafts things, our careers. I was so happy to have a best friend. So soon our friendship and relationship became kind of a spine for my life in Melbourne, and everything else just worked around it. And I still felt kind of uneasy because I wanted these girlfriend sleepovers and I couldn't find any girlfriends, and he was literally my only friend. Even though I was extremely social and I was outgoing, I was constantly at the gigs, I was constantly working, I was always surrounded by people, I felt so out of place. I felt so sad, and there was just like this deep void inside of me, and I was just empty, and I was missing my friends a lot. I was always like, I couldn't go a week without crying, and it doesn't matter, it's gonna be privately, it's gonna be publicly. I was just like breaking down, and I just wanted everything to work out. It was really, it's just like, it was really dark, and it was really really sad. And a lot of time I would spend, I mean, not a lot of time, but I would spend some time on like Instagram, and sometimes would get caught up in like, archive stories and watch my videos from when I was living in Lithuania and having like all my best friends and just like hanging out constantly. I was surrounded by people that loved me and cared about me, and here I was just like, just another person that no one cares about. I felt so sad, and yeah, it was miserable. I couldn't stop thinking why I can't find friends, and that was the only thing that I was always and always and always contemplating. It's like, why I can't have, like, what's wrong with me? Why people are not interested in me? And even those who showed some interest and they were keen to hang out, and like, no one ever says, no, I don't want to hang out with you, and they still, you like feel this gap between two of you. It's just, I continued to struggle really bad through the whole second half of 2019, but in October my aunt called me and asked if I would like to come back to visit Lithuania for my grandma's 18th birthday, and probably that news was the best one I've ever had. I can't describe the happiness and joy that I felt inside of me. That was astronomical. In November, I had one of the worst mental breakdowns that I ever had, and I shaved my head, just like one does. It's the second time though.
This time without a breakdown.
And my boyfriend was really unsupportive about it, and that made things even worse because I was like, like, are you gonna break up with me because I shaved my head? And he was like, well, I don't know. I was like, how can you, like, when you love someone, it doesn't matter how they look. Why my shaved head made such a difference? It was just heartbreaking. Nevertheless, I flew back to Lithuania at the beginning of February, and I spent more than a week at my best friend's house, and we were just going partying. I was meeting my old friends, we were adventuring, going for hikes. I got tattoo, fuck that, on my knees at the bar while drinking beer, which was the best experience ever. That's the life that I wanted to live, and I didn't have it here, and I just felt so happy. But at the same time, I realized that I want to go back to Australia, and I wanted more than I want to stay in Lithuania. Visiting Lithuania made me realize that nothing has changed. Maybe one or two coffee shops open, some of them closed, couple of bands emerged, couple of venues open, but everything what was so dear to my heart left the same, and these things were food, friends, and my goals. And I know that Lithuanian food won't disappear. I mean, I'm gonna live in Australia and I'm gonna live in Lithuania. I mean, I can eat it more, but I realized that I wish, like, it's not that, like, oh my god, I can't live without it. I mean, it's fine. And friends, I still have them online. And my goals, my goals, if I want to work on my goals, I have to get my ass back to Australia and work and just really, really work. Sitting in a sky bus, and a sky bus is this amazing bus that brings you from Melbourne's airport to the city, and on the way there is this beautiful view of Australian landscape. I mean, not comparing to the actual, Australian landscape, but just like a glimpse of it and these beautiful trees, and I just felt so good. I was sitting in the bus and I was like, this is where I want to be. This is my place, at least for another year and a half. And so yeah, how do you find friends? You may ask again, because that's what the video about. And first, you have to get out of your toxic relationship. I wouldn't necessarily say that toxic relationship means that your partner is toxic to you. I reckon that you can also be toxic without like really realizing it. And in my personal experience, I felt that we were just hurting each other without even like kind of realizing it and addressing it. And I thought that it's gonna be better off if we're gonna move on separately. And so I broke up with my boyfriend. Second thing is when you get out of your toxic relationship, don't find another relationship. Please don't do it. Don't. Not after a month, not after 2 months, maybe not even half a year. Why? Because, firstly, let yourself grieve the future that you were dreaming about with that person. Let yourself grieve the potential that you had in your mind about that person. Be sad and reach out to your family. Reach out to people who are not your best friends and who are not even maybe your friends, and ask for the company. As to talk to them if you're feeling like really sad and it's really hard for you. That's okay. Like, you can ask for help, you can ask for a talk. Most likely that person will say yes, and it's gonna help. Like, it's gonna be way better than going through everything alone and assuming that, oh, I don't have friends, I can't talk with anyone. You can talk to people. You can reach out to me and I'll talk to you. Another thing is unfollow your ex on social media. That's not an option. And find activities that would distract your mind from thinking about that broken relationship. Highly recommend journaling. I wrote a lot of letters to my ex that I never sent. I told him why I was mad, why he was not right. I said why I'm angry at him, but I didn't ever send, and I will never do that because it's just how I feel, and I see that there is no point of trying to communicate these things because he was angry at me, I was then angry at him, and I don't have time for that. Like, it's not gonna go anywhere. So just write down everything. Just don't send, don't text your ex, and spend time with yourself. I literally broke up a couple of days before the lockdown. Maybe it was like less than a week, and it was really hard. I didn't know what to do because I was googling what to do when you break up, and everyone was like, go out. No, I can't go out. So I spent a month probably talking to my housemates who were really nice to me and they were really supportive, and I was just like ranting about that broken relationship non-stop for a month. I did have two of my best friends in Lithuania who were taking turns talking to me and telling me that I am loved, I am important, I am worthy, and that I should focus on loving myself and spending time with myself. And the thing is that I want to tell you that because you might not have friends if you clicked on this video, and you have to understand it yourself. You have to just know yourself that you are worthy and you're interesting and you can spend time with yourself and it's fun. I was so afraid. I was bawling my eyes. I hated the idea that I have to be with myself. I didn't know what to do until I decided to just like sit in front of the mirror and talk to myself and entertain myself. And it was great. I found connection with me and became my own best friend. I started going for walks and just being with myself. It was so freeing when you realize that you're so interesting. You don't have to have hundreds of friends. You don't have to have even a one friend. You don't have to have significant other to be validated. Instead of looking for friends and creating these expectations of what a friend should be one for yourself. People are attracted to people who are happy, who are healthy or trying to be, who are loving themselves, and when you are one, you'll start attracting people like that. I know that it might feel important to hear that you're worthy and loved from the people who know you, but really the only person that knows you is you, and you have to understand it yourself. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you will be happy and not trying to find other people to make you happy. Go down the rabbit hole of self-love and questioning your life. And if you're not happy, ask yourself why you're not happy. And journal, write that down and be like, I am so not happy. And then, why am I not happy? I'm not happy because I don't have people around me. What those people would do to you if you would have them. Oh, they would like spend time with me and we would do this and that, we would watch movies. Okay, maybe I can watch movies on my own. Yes, I can, but it's not fun. Why is it not fun? Well, because you can't laugh with someone else. Why is it important to laugh with someone else? Well, I don't know. Why you don't know? Well, I don't know. Why you don't know? Don't scream at me. Like, that's literally my conversations, and I'm like angry at myself. But the other part of me is just like, don't be angry at me. I don't listen to people who are angry at me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not angry. I'm sorry. Okay, so what are we gonna do about this? And I'm just like writing it all down. Just write things down. I hope I'm not sounding crazy. Maybe a little bit. Anyways. And in these past months, when I was locked down between these beautiful four walls and two windows, I made way more friends than I did in the past year and a half. Why? Because I stopped expecting people to reply to me. I stopped expecting people to even message me. I don't rely on anyone to make me happy. And now everyone who comes to my life is a friend to me, because there's no expectation of what a friend should be. Everyone is a friend. Why it shouldn't be? Like, my best friend is this person, like this. I am my best friend, and I don't care about anyone else. I mean, in the sense that I don't care what they think about me. And if they don't want to spend time with me, that's fine. If they want to spend time with me, that's also fine. I don't need those people to be happy, but they can join me to be happy together. I'm not relying on anyone. I'm just here being happy. I'm enjoying every second of my day being with myself. I think that I'm hilarious, but I'm too shy to show that in the camera, so I'm sorry. Because you might not think that I'm hilarious. But yeah, I'm just like, when I'm going to bed, I'm like, hold my hands, and I'm like, and I sometimes do this, because I don't have a boyfriend who would do that, and I want to do that, so I'm just laying there, doing this, and I'm happy. I'm living by my own rules. I spend my time how I wanted to spend. I'm working on my dreams. I'm living my best life, surrounded by these walls. I haven't been properly out and hanging out in 5 months, and this is the best time in my life. I'm so genuinely content. So yes, I want to finalize this because it's probably very long. Love yourself, be friends with yourself, don't look validation in other people or through other people. I don't know English. Give first and love first, and everything will come back to you. I love you all, and I will always do, because that's the way it is. And I will always love coffee, and I will always be grateful for last year. That was so fucking hard. I will forever be grateful for all the bad experiences that I went through, everything. Because at the end, now I'm so content, and I'm just like exploding. And yeah, I just want you to love yourself, because that's the only thing that will last. And it's just so nice. It's so nice to wake up happy every day. There are bad days though, but you go through that because you know you're valid, like, you know It's just good. Anyways, I need to finish this. I very love you all.